For a lot of people, they know this individual as a strong businessman, community leader. A lot of people thought he would maybe seek a career in higher politics. But when he was a baseball player, we affectionately called him the Secretary of Defense, ironically, for obvious reasons. A key part of the Phillies and their mini dynasty of the 70s into the 80s, Gary Maddox had it all, sort of a poor man's Dave Winfield, with all the skills of Dave, but with less power. But he was tremendous. Now, Garry Lee Maddox, born in Cincinnati, has turned into a business entrepreneur in his post-Major League Baseball retirement. He played in MLB as a center fielder from 72 to 86. He began his career with the Giants, rose to prominence with the Phillies, where he was suppressive defensive play, earned him 8 consecutive Gold Glove awards, and where he was a member of the 1980 World Series winning teams. Now, a career batting average of 285, 117 home runs, and 754 runs batted in. Not going to get in the Hall of Fame, but again, he's got the respect of the media and the fans like crazy. In 86, he was named recipient of the prestigious Roberto Clemente Award for his work on behalf of local charities. After his MLB campaign ended, he went on to become a successful businessman in Philadelphia and continued with his local charity work. He was inducted into the Philadelphia Phillies Wall of Fame in 2001, and let me tell you, that was quite the feather in his cap. Now, raised in L.A., instead of cheering for the Dodgers, he grew up rooting for the Giants. Willie Mays was his favorite player, and he wore number 24 when he played Little League Baseball. And he was a graduate in 68 of St. Pedro High School. Now, again, born September 1st of 49, drafted by the Giants in the second round of 68 amateur draft, and signed to a minor league contract. While playing with the Giants minor league affiliates in Salt Lake City and Fresno, he discovered that other Giants minor league rookies received higher bonuses and were paid more per month, so he requested that the team's front office staff place him on the same level. When the team refused, he quit the squad and joined the United States Army. After basic training, he volunteered for service in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. He served in the Army from 68 to 70, including 1 year in Vietnam, before receiving a hardship discharge so he could help support the Maddox family as his father became ill. Now, exposure to chemicals in Vietnam left Maddox's skin highly sensitive, and he's worn a full beard ever since to protect his face. Now, when he resumed his baseball career leaving the Army, he started in 1972 with the Phoenix Giants of the AAA Pacific Coast League. There, he batted .438 with 14 extra base hits and 22 RBIs. On April 25th, he was promoted to big leagues by the Giants. In San Fran, he replaced Mays as the Giants center fielder, as Willie was on his way to the Mets. Mays would be traded to New York on May 5th. On May 4th, 75, the Giants traded him to Philadelphia for third baseman William Montañez after the Phillies had failed their efforts to acquire Rusty Staub from the Mets. The Phillies traded Montañez with the intention to replace him at first base with Dick Allen. Maddox went on to win his first Gold Glove award as a top center fielder in the National League, and Montañez was traded later that same year. The next year. As to prove that 75 was no fluke, he proceeded to earn a Gold Glove in each of his 8 seasons as a Philly. Dubbed the Secretary of Defense in 76 by Daily News columnist Bill Conlon, Maddox and his ball-hawking prowess later provided inspiration for one of baseball's better-known quotes: "Two-thirds of the earth is covered by water, the other 1/3 by Gary Maddox." Now, some people say Ralph Kiner said that, and like I said, there's different people that claimed it, but like I said, if you know the history, you know how good he was. Now, he had his best year as a hitter in 1976 with a .330 batting average. It helped the Phillies win the National League East, their first postseason berth since the Whiz Kids of the 1950 World Series. However, the team lost 3 consecutive NLCSs, including 78 against the Dodgers, as Maddox made a crucial error in Game 4. With the score tied in the bottom of the 10th, 2 out and staying on first, Maddox misplayed Dusty Baker's fly ball. He started back on the ball, then charged forward, and the ball glanced off his glove, allowing the Dodgers to stay alive after what would have been the 3rd out. Bill Russell then followed a single to center. With Say running on the play, Maddox charged the ball, but it skipped past him as Say scored a winning run to put the Dodgers in the World Series. Because Maddox would have been able to execute a near-perfect field and throw to get Say out to the plate, he was not charged with what would have been the second error of the inning. Now, in the 10th inning of the fifth and final game of the NLCS, he made up for that era with a stellar play against the Astros. His double scored Del Unser for the pennant-winning run. In the bottom half, he caught Nina Scabell's fly ball for the final out to put the Phillies in the World Series their first time since 1950, and the Phillies eventually bet the Royals in 6 games for the first world title. Now, in '83, the Phillies again made it to the World Series, losing this time to the Orioles. In Game 1, the score was tied 1-1 until Maddox led out the 8th inning with a solo dinger. The final was 2-1 and the Phillies' only win of the set. Maddox later lined out the Orioles shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. for the final out of Game 5 in the series. Now, he continued to win Gold Gloves, steal bases, and hit well for the Phillies until '85, when he declined rapidly. He retired after 6 games in the next season. That campaign, he was honored with the Roberto Clemente Award, given annually to the player who demonstrates the values the Hall of Fame Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder displayed in his commitment to community and understanding the value of helping others. Now, during his career, he played in 6 postseasons, winning 5 full-season division titles, 2 pennants, and 1 World Series, all with the Phillies. His lifetime batting average was .285. Never a slugger, his peak year brought him just 14 home runs, and he hit 117 for his career. But he did have 337 doubles and 62 triples, products of the speed that also allowed him to run down fly balls few outfielders could reach, and to steal 21 more bases in 9 straight seasons. For his career, he had 248 steals, which in October 2022 ranks top 250 on the all-time list. Now, in retirement, he took a very interesting career path. He founded Worldwide Concessions, a leading national promotional product company specializing in unique branded gifts and packages. By '95, he was majority owner and CEO of Abe Pomerantz and Company, a Philadelphia-based office furniture concern. In 2003, he began a 4-year term on the board of the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia. Now, he's also worked as a spring training instructor for the Phillies, and was a color analyst for Phillies games on Prism, now defunct, of course, from '87 to '95. His son, Gary Jr., also played pro ball, but did not reach the major leagues. Now, also a barbecue chef, and for a number of years has hosted a Garry Maddox Barbecue Challenge, a yearly fundraiser held outside of Citizens Bank Park before a home Phillies game, where local restaurants and amateur chefs compete in various categories. All proceeds benefit Compete 360, an academic enrichment program founded by Maddox to foster DT Philly, a design thinking practice at Philadelphia Public Schools that trains teachers to facilitate design thinking projects with their students. Now, in 2005, Maddox and other individuals became prominent investors in a Foxwood Slots casino proposed for Philadelphia, and in September 2008, facing massive opposition at the original proposed waterfront location, backers for the Slots Casino decided to try to seek a new location in the Center City area next to Philly's Chinatown. On December 16, 2010, the Gaming Control Board voted to revoke the casino's license after venture failed to secure funding. So, like I said, Gary has always been involved with charities or businesses or stuff like that. But it's too bad somebody didn't really reach out to him to be like more on the political side. He would have been an excellent governor or senator for Pennsylvania. And but I think we talked the other day. We've always been talking on the channel the importance and popularity of the NL East as the best division in baseball, pretty much for the 1970s into the 80s. And Gary was part of that. When Maddox would come into Olympic Stadium, it's Cavernous, Montreal's stadium, the fans would chant his name. Literally, people were chanting his name because they liked him so much. Gary Maddox is probably the best player that should have been at Montreal Expo and never played for him. He would have been dynamite in Montreal, but his heart belonged to Philadelphia. Gary Maddox is an A1 player, probably the most underrated player I've ever seen. And the fact is, give me 3 Gary Maddox in the outfield, and I'll win a World Series, no problem. Somebody that can hit 14 home runs, 70 RBIs, steal 30, Gold Glove, just tremendous. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see a very interesting era for baseball, it's the Phillies between 1976 and 1983. That was a tremendous time. That was a dynasty, ladies and gentlemen, even though they only won 1 title. That was a dynasty for sure. Schmidt was there and Rose and, Bob Boone and Larry Boa and all these people. What a great era for baseball. The Phillies again very popular in Canada, and the NL East was the place to be back then. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here with our NL East podcast, the glory of the great era from the 70s to the 80s, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, National Aboriginal Day, Truth and Reconciliation Day in Canada on Monday. Please take a moment to think of the people that have impacted generational trauma. Seek out healing and purpose. Read up about what happened as an Acadian Métis. Read up about the Jackie Vautour case. If you're Aboriginal, read up about residential schools. Information is power. And don't forget the Orange Shirt Brigade. Please wear orange on Monday in celebration of those who need our thoughts and prayers. Have a good one. Bye.